right. Hello. Welcome to MindBody TV. I'm Dr. Kim Duramo. I'm just going to breathe for a minute. Welcome everyone in. Thank you for sharing where you're listening to, where you're tuning in from. So, thank you guys for being here. It is February 2022. There's so much awakening happening, so much powerful energy. Like if you haven't noticed, you're either really suffering or really like in more like a bliss and joy and amazement at what life has to offer, or back and forth between the two, which has kind of been like my experience. A lot of old things are bumping out. Anyways, we hold on to those old perspectives are going to kick us in the ass, are going to feel so painful and so hard to like carry that I'm not enough, I've got to do more, or looking outside myself for validation or worth, or like any of those residues. It's going to be like really hard to carry that and navigate life with that and try to do life through those lenses. So much compassion for everyone in the world, because it is, it seems like it'd be better to just be numb, right? Then I just won't feel all of these things, which, obviously we understand is not true, but in a part of us, it's like, why do I have to go through this? Why do I have to feel this? Why don't I just be like everyone else and be numb? Most people are not that energy sensitive. But that isn't what will really create the most, right? What will create the most is awakening, creatorship, being in your power, making the choice to be in your power instead of staying, half alive and staying in suppression and living by the rules. So I am sharing today 2 keys to activate healing and awakening. And the reason I wanted to share this topic is an experience I've had this week. I mean, they're always from my own experiences, but had an experience this week, which is like, wow, there's really these 2 things. And I've kind of shared these 2 things before, but in a different way. And the reason this is such an essential topic is like awakening creates healing. Like if you're aware that your hand's on the hot stove and it's like, oh, that's why I have so much pain. You take your freaking hand off the stove. But if you're like, oh, sleep, you're like, I don't know, what should I do? Why won't someone turn down the stove? Victim, you're not awake. You're like, I'm confused, right? And something so simple like, I'm in power, I'm at choice, I'm a creator. Let me remove my hand from the stove. Wow, I feel so much better already. Every moment we have the ability to be in creatorship or to be in victim. And so awakening creates healing, because when we're in that victim-y, oh, why is my life happening this way? I don't know what to do. Let me work harder. This is the physiology of disease. It creates inflammation. It creates suppression. It messes up our gut microbiome. We can't digest food. Our brain can't work like fluidly and clearly. Every single major chronic illness that we know most people are dying of has this underlying physiology. So when we change who we are, it changes all of that chemistry, all of that cellular communication, all of that DNA even changes, and we allow the body to express health. So this is what I will be sharing today. Thank you for tuning in. Emma, it's kicking me in the teeth. Regina, Shirley, I've been getting my ass kicked. How do you tell the difference between awakening and grief from a loss? Well, you're awakening to the grief. You're awakening to like, whoa, there's grief in here. So now I can breathe through it, welcome it, allow it, express it, right? Grief is like, oh, it's a different thing than I'm good. Let me just stay busy. Everything's all right. Rising above the grief. Like that's what most people do. They're like, I'm just going to delve myself into my work and I'll get through this. Yeah, but you're not experiencing your experience at all. And like, do you think that energy is still in there? So, yeah, it's a roller coaster for sure. Hello, Roberta. I love Michigan. Jennifer says I'm from Michigan. Awesome. Hello, Mario. My husband is here from Durango. Hello, Rachel, Megan from Utah, Simona from California, and Janelle. We've got people in Facebook. It's in the 70s today. Jaria from Vancouver, Rebecca from the Netherlands. Hello, Paula, Melva from Sweden, Brigitte from Houston, Paula from Vancouver, BC. Awesome. Regina, Janet from Minnesota. Hello. Jennifer from Italy. Oh, I'm so excited to see you. All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. So have a few deep breaths. For those of you who don't know me, I am a physician who is sharing what I have found to be the most powerful modalities for healing, the most powerful perspective to understand what we are, that we are energy, that we are vibration first and foremost, and to share ways to activate that, ways to activate healing, ways to take that understanding and have a new approach. You know, I was even talking with someone today and they're like calling up the doctor for like, what do I do about this? And it's like, wow, if you want to have medications, you know, call the pharmaceutical doctor. If you want to have healing, you might need to call a different person. So you got to always look at like, what assumptions are you living that this is the thing I need to do? I have to call this person and do what they say, which they shared like, oh, that it really doesn't resonate with me to go on all these medications. And then I looked at the side effects and I was like, something's off with this. And so we got to look on the front end, what assumptions am I living under that this is the way to do it and this is the way I'm going to choose it, versus like erase the chalkboard, blow away the chalk dust. What else is possible? What's the highest possibility for me? And how can I receive my life so that I receive that highest possibility? And so that's what I'm going to talk about today. So basically the two keys, very, very simple. One is like when the going gets tough, when there's lack, strife, rock in a hard place, I don't know what to do, or, oh, I have to do this thing, I have to do that thing, and they both feel off, or, oh, no matter what I do, I just don't feel any better. And people were sharing also in the MindBody community, I can't stand this anymore. So we've got to look, when life, the going gets tough, bring more breath. Bring more breath. When we bring more breath, we sort of have to feel things more intensely. And everything in the learning and the conditioning is like, no, I don't want to feel any of this. I want to just escape all of it. So that's why so many have like turned it over to like, let me just outsource my decisions. Let me just outsource my thinking. Tell me what to do so I can avoid my experience. So I can avoid my fear. So I can avoid the thing I'm just so sure is going to happen. And it's actually not even what's going to happen. So it's a lie. We're trying to avoid the unwanted thing. But if we actually experience what is happening, it's beautiful. It becomes beautiful. More breath, more life, more healing, more awakening. And I have been asked to breathe into some freaking wicked shit lately. Stuff I'm like, no, I am definitely going to avoid this. Like parts of me just made the conclusion like, no, I'm never going to go there. And it's kind of crazy because then we like, you know, run the hamster wheel of our life and so much energy goes into that avoidance. And that's energy that could go into not only your healing, but certainly that, right? Like running the vibrant physiology of your body. But also the energy that goes into creativity, lining up right relationships, lining up business opportunities, lining up abundance coming in effortlessly, lining up, oh, there's the solution, awareness, moments of awareness, like, why don't I just do this? Clarity. It's all the energy that goes into having your life work in the most unthinkable ways. That's like, oh my God, I never knew it could be this good. Versus continuing to put that energy into the avoidance. And it is such an energy suck. that even if you just shift 2% of that density, it frees up like 100% of energy to go into creating your life. Like a little goes a long way. So how do we do that? Because I think a lot of us, like, we don't know how to breathe. It's like, okay, fine. And we kind of have a rule in my family. If anyone tells you, like, when someone's getting hostile or tense, and then someone tells you, like, take a deep breath, it could really piss you off. And you're like, F you take a deep breath, right? But if you've already made an agreement that you want to receive your own awakening, and maybe even though it feels really, really annoying, you could receive what this person's asking you to do and just let yourself surrender to a deep breath, you move a ton of energy. And so it kind of happens when you least want to do it. Like when you relax, I'm going to show you in a moment how I've found is a really powerful way to do it. When you soften and breathe in the moments where you most don't want to do it, it moves the most density. Because there's stuff you don't want to look at. There's stuff you don't want to feel. There's shame. And you're like, no, I'd rather just hold this in. Thank you very much. And you're like holding it beneath, like under the rug, but it's costing you a lot. Like every day it costs you more. Think of like a big storage facility and you're like, oh, let me just store my couch. I think I'll use it later. Let me just store this other thing. And now it's like every day it gets more expensive. Not only that you're additively paying more each day, but now you're like storing more stuff. So that storage container is like expanding, and like say the rent is just going up exponentially because now you're just putting more stuff over there. So more of your energy is consumed by all that storage, all the like incompletions of like, this is inconvenient. I don't want to feel this right now. Thank you very much. Let me just swamp myself into my work. Let me just get addicted into Facebook. Let me just eat. Let me just go watch someone on YouTube who's inspiring and makes me feel better, so I don't feel this. Right. And now you're like, you kind of start to feel like I'm on a hamster wheel here. Kind of feels like it's working on some level, but more and more every day, it actually just feels busy. One of the most important pieces for allowing this kind of breath that I'm inviting you to is softening the body. Because here's what happens when it's like, hey, take a deep breath. Right? Fine. And it's like a tense breath. Like it's kind of only in the upper lung fields. You're not really feeling the wholeness of it. You're still holding tension. You're still like, oh, I just want to be pissed at you and block you out. Versus, oh, wow, do I really need to go there? Yeah, what if I do? So for 1 week, every time you feel tension or stress or I don't like what I feel in my body or why am I so sick or I'm so tired, you're going to do this instead. Every time you notice, oh, why isn't this working out for me? Or, oh my God, I want to change this thing. It's not working right. In the outer circumstance, or this one, hey, this is big. I'm so miffed. I can't believe she said that, right? Triggered by another person. Like that could happen every 20 seconds right now. Go to this instead. This is your remedy. This is your medicine. You might, the part of the self that wants to like shove it all under the rug might really, really not like this. But if you make a choice right now, screw it. I'm going to find a new way because this isn't really working for me. Try it for 1 week. Oh, Jaria said, I swear it's as if you are speaking directly to me. Thank you. Roberta, yes, dropping in, relaxing your shoulders and softening just 2%. Amazing. Someone on Facebook, I love the storage unit analogy that I use, the storage unit getting more and more expensive. Yes, so when we do the breath, first thing is soften your body, even a little, because sometimes you're like, oh, I can't soften it. Well, maybe just pull the shoulders up and then like relax and let them fall down. Sometimes it's helpful if you're going to do the take a deep breath thing to exhale first. Because it always is like, take a deep breath and then we immediately inhale. But if you are in tension, you got to release that first. So take a deep breath. So you're making space for inhale to come in. Exhale is just as essential a part of the breath. So exhale, exhale, exhale. Soften the body. And when I do that and I really put the energy into the exhale, the first thing I notice is when I relax after the exhale is done, there's this softening and the breath comes in. And then I can continue to like pull breath in and like choose the inhale or like, voluntarily inhale. But that first little 10% of the breath, if I just exhale, 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 and like put some energy into the exhale, there's a softness in the beginning of the exhale. This is actually really, really important. There aren't a lot of moments in our lives we let in abundance, right? Like if you're working really, really hard, but I'm making money, but I'm working so hard for it, it's not abundance. Doesn't matter how many billions you would bring in. It's not abundance if you're working hard for it. If you're sweating, it's not, it's lack. What is abundance, right? It's effortless receiving. In fact, the retreat, we have one in May, was formed, that I have for women, is formed around this concept, effortless receiving of health and wealth. That's what it is to be fully alive. Effortlessly move through your grief, effortlessly move through the sadness, effortlessly move through whatever's there. Giving yourself the gift of that effortlessness is abundance. And it will transmute what's happening in your body. So abundance starts happening more and more in your life. So when we let ourselves have that breath of like noticing that first beginning of where we soften and the breath just comes in, because if you don't like try to breathe, your body's just going to breathe you. And when we soften enough to let that happen, it's really, really fluid. And that's what abundance is. Abundance with like your money and love and beauty and home and resources, opportunities. That is a reflection of you letting in abundance in your body, in your moment, in your experience. So this breath isn't just like, okay, I'm taking a breath. It's like you move the whole universe when you shift this way. So that's the first of the two keys, is like when there's the going gets tough, when there's rock in a hard place, when there's, I don't know what to do, I don't want to feel what I'm feeling. More breath. It's like more life, right? If I'm like, I can't stand it anymore. But if I take in more life, I can do a lot more. I have more capacity. So that's kind of the first piece. The second piece, which I think is like, I have found this to be the other key for everything. And this was a massive like download that happened this week. Am I willing to have the experience I'm having right now? Because everything boils down to this. In fact, when we did the last Alive Women retreat, it's a few months ago, everyone came up with like a takeaway, like a major big cha-ching. This is the $1 million moment. And then we shared them in the group. And one woman said, I'm having an experience in my body and it's okay. And for her, it was such a profundity because it was like, wow, everything is just an experience. And it's an experience I'm either resisting and tensing, I don't want to have, or trying to control so it doesn't happen. Or it's an experience that moves through my sensation and continues, right? Now I'm experiencing something else. And if I can allow it to move through, energy just wants to move. It doesn't like stick in my body and create pain, stick around and create chronic anxiety and panic attacks, stick around and create massive depression and I need medication, stick around and create generalized inflammation and I have 20 autoimmune diseases. Like if I let the energy move through it, I'm having an experience in my body and it's okay. And I actually can enjoy it. I can enjoy energy moving through. Sadness, grief, despair, hopelessness, fear, right? More breath and more softening to allow myself to have an experience. Because when I do that, it can move through in like seconds. When I tense against it, I'm holding it for decades, freaking decades. And then is when the fear is toxic. Then is when the anger creates disease, liver disease, heart disease, inflammatory bowel disease, autoimmune disease, thyroid disease, Hashimoto's, bowel disease and digestive disorder where I can't eat all these 20 foods, but if I eat these 2 things, I'm okay. Like, what are we doing? Trying to manage this. If we allow the energy to flow through our experience and there's no resistance, it isn't a toxic thing anymore. It isn't even a negative thing anymore. It's an amazing thing. It's a beautiful thing. Elizabeth said, wow, oh my God, yes. And then she said, say that again. So I'll try. If I let myself, because each moment is just, there's sensation, right? I'm having an experience in my body and it's okay. And so how I interact with that is either tension, closure, control, which is literally the root of all evil. Or yes, you can cure trigeminal neuralgia, 1000%, of course, but you've got to let in your experience, right? Because energy has to move through. So I can either tense it, control it, manage, or I can soften. Energy moves through and there is no longer a problem. There is no longer a disease. There is no longer a thing to like blog about or post about or get help or see a consultation, right? It's how can I let what's here dissolve? Because then if I do get a consultation, it's for actually contributing to me, like actually contributing massive abundance and wisdom and like, wow, that was an awesome experience. As opposed to what most of us are doing is like, help me, I don't want to feel this. I don't want to have the experience I'm having. So this week I had this one time, my husband and I would sit down, we do this partner exercise and it's freaking wicked. It's really intense to look someone in the eye, eyes on eyes. And we did it a little bit in Dallas just so I could bring people a little bit into the experience. But, you know, there's a lot more ways you can meet the moment. Eyes on eyes. I'm fully present. I have to fully presence what's happening in my body. If I'm going to sit in front of you, eyes on eyes, and you're going to really see me. Like I'm not going to be able to run from anything that's happening in here. And one of the things I was having in this moment was like profound fatigue. So it was like, I just want to check out fatigue. I want to sleep for 20 years and avoid fatigue kind of feeling. And I realized that, and it was late at night, you know, not late at night, but it was like before bed that we were doing our exercise on that particular day. So it was like, the mind's like, you're just too tired to do it. Oh, it'll be soon, it'll be over and you can go to sleep. But I realized like, no, that doesn't even feel good. Like even going to sleep doesn't feel like it would be the restoration of what I need. This fatigue is so big. It's like nothing is going to help. And so what I did, because we were breathing, more breath, and then I softened to the fatigue. I actually let it in. I actually let it wash over me. Okay, you're bigger than me, right? Because it's like, it's bigger than me. I got to control it. Oh, you're bigger than me? Then come on in. I opened my whole system to experience it. Instead of being afraid of it, trying to manage it, trying to fix it, right? Totally different. It was like, I'm just going to let all of this in with everything the mind thinks it's going to do. Destroy me. I'll never get up again. And just fully surrender and feel the fatigue. So one way to do that when you soften the body is like, where do I feel it? Is it in my head? Is it in my chest? Is it in my belly? Is it in my joints? Like, is it in a location? Is it just everywhere and it feels like a big giant egg beyond me? Because it's just energy. But if I can interact with it and receive it, it will move through. So I was willing to feel this like profound fatigue and I softened and I softened and I softened. And it was kind of like, it was uncomfortable. But if you make noise, like if a woman's giving birth and they're like, be quiet, she has an excruciating experience. But if a woman's giving birth and you're like, yell it out, squeeze my hand, show me. And she's like, ah, she lets the energy move. Like, ever hear of orgasmic birth? Fucking let the energy move. It's when you hold it that it is suffering. So I let this in. I made whatever noises I needed to make. And I moved and I cried and I breathed and I let it move through. And I immediately felt like 1,000% more energized. 1,000% more energized. So that was a really powerful moment and a realization of like, where am I holding resistance to experiencing what I'm experiencing now? Versus where could I soften and welcome the sensation and even the thoughts and ideas, right? Like, oh, it's just so painful that I'm having right now. Because that's what they sounded like. They sounded like, I don't know what to do. Okay, yes to this. I'm willing to have the experience anyway. When I am willing to more fully embody and experience and sense what's here, the energy moves. So these are really the keys. And when we awaken, healing happens. Like, it can't not. Your body knows how to heal itself. It just usually doesn't have what it needs to do that. And then it's like, my body's failing me. Why is my body betraying me? But it's like, no, what am I holding? So the body's like, I got us covered. If you could just let go a little bit here, I can like totally take care of this infection. I can totally take care of this imbalance in the thyroid. Like, we got it covered. Let go. And we're not really that great at letting go, right? We have been conditioned to hold. So 2 pieces to this week. Breathe more fully when you notice. And I think that's kind of the first step to like, oh, I'm holding a lot of tension in my body right now. Oh, wow, this is uncomfortable. That's the first piece. That's why in the instant elevation, we got to like be in the body and like tune in, check in, sense, feel. That changes the brain and opens the brain and recalibrates the brain to sensation. So don't worry if you're like, I don't feel anything. There's nothing there. It doesn't work for me. Stay with it. Your brain's just got to recalibrate. Oh, you actually want to start paying attention to what's happening in your body now. After 30 years of shutting it out, wait, what? It takes a minute. Give the brain a minute to like adjust to what you're asking it to sense, to tell you. The sensation's already there. Just you weren't registering it consciously. So give it a minute. Breathe, sense, feel, open, surrender. I'm willing to have the experience I'm having right now. And the experience I'm having right now isn't someone's attacking me, right? It's, oh, I feel guilt. Oh, I feel heavy. Oh, I feel oppressed. Or, oh, I feel grief. I feel, you're going to feel some density, right? Because those are the things we most often suppress. And right behind that is joy. JP, I understand now that to the degree I'm willing to feel what I'm experiencing at the moment is the degree of my openness to everything. It is very well put. It is very well put. And it's the degree of how much health and abundance can flow into your experience. Michelle, this is phenomenal. It's been my spiritual practice and emotions. I never thought to apply the same practice to my physical body. Oh, awesome. Is there anything you say to your mind when it's so busy and negative and judgmental? And keep breathing through the densities to hold faith that will help. Yes. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Yes, yes, yes. What else do you have? What else do you have? Like, I'll use the Ho'oponopono, right? That's a 4-part mantra. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And this is, I put that in the Instant Elevation program. Like, how do you work with that? How do you actually integrate that cellularly so your body can open? How do you integrate that mantra in a way that's energetically medicine? And I pretty much am running that in every moment. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And then when I meet these really intense densities, one of those 4 might resonate the most. Like, it's okay to let this go. Take all the time that you need. I love you, I love you, I love you. So that is really, really helpful because you can't fix it. You can only welcome. Sorry about that. You can only welcome the part of you that's in that space. You can't like therapize that part of you. It's okay. Be positive. You're just having an experience. Like it's like a child who was like, I'm so sure I have to shut down. And that part of you needs love, nurturance, acceptance. It's okay. You feel what you feel. Yes, show me more in order to open back up, which it will do because that's your nature. Okay, we do have also today the kickoff call at noon Mountain today for the Awaken Your Business program. So I'll share a special thing for that. If any people are wanting to come into that program, this is for individuals who are awakening to intuitive healing gifts, talents. They're like, I don't even understand how this applies. I have this capacity for healing or insight and intuition. How do I step more into that self? How do I step more into like the fifth dimensional self, the whole self, the self that is beyond the small ego physical self that's like, I'm separate. What do I do with my life? How do I make my life work? But actually can't know that and step into the whole self where I do have receptivity. I do know, boom, choose this, be the medicine. And so creating a life that is aligned with that true self and letting the old self fall away and the structures you chose, like, I got to keep this job. I can't leave this relationship, but that actually are killing you because they're not really feeding you. They're not nurturing you. And so the Awaken Your Business program is like, how do I create a life and a living and a business in this new structure of who I really am versus looking outside myself for validation. Oh, here's what I've got to do. Or being in manipulation, right? I'm just going to make this happen and then I'll be whole and have what I want, right? It's like, no, we have to do it from the inside out. How can I be in receivership? And so the link for that, if you want to get a little bit more information, is drkimd.com/AYB. Our call today will be recorded. So if you missed that for some reason, you'll have the recording. It's a kickoff call to really get you into this new consciousness. How do I more and more and more stabilize there? And I actually had an amazing experience with my team yesterday. And one person on my team was like, oh my gosh, I'm so contracted after what happened and what you said and this and this. And I was like, do I receive this? Like, what is here for? There's something here for me. There's a nugget. And where am I? Because everything in your life is a gift, even if it feels like a bad thing or unwanted. Where am I? Maybe not in my sensitivity. And this super highly sensitive person is like so dialed in that they're like feeling that little layer that they're giving me feedback of where I can shed something. It's not helping me. Maybe it's a perspective. Maybe it's a way of doing things. I can receive that sensitivity from my body and my sensation. I can receive it from something someone else is saying to me. But if I'm in like protection defensiveness, which was like the first thing that came up was like, oh, wait, did I do the wrong thing? Right? Doubt. It's just going to kick me in the butt. Instead, what's right about this? What can I receive here? And it moved like a massive mountain for me where I could see like, I can let even more and more layers go. And settle more and more into the divine self, which is way less doing, way less thinking, and way more being. And so every day there's a new level of me being born, a new level of where I'm ready to live into pure being and surrender my life. And do I live in alignment with that, or am I in like protection against that? So it can come anywhere. Is that $1 million moment? Yeah. To have someone maybe with the sensitivity I wasn't in share something with me, and then I could receive it too. So there's so many ways that so many of us are ready to live in like another dimension of, whoa, this is who I am. This is what I'm here to be. How can my life be effortless and create a 3D physical reality from that with like a business and structures and interactions and all of that. It doesn't need to be in the old 3D structures of how we are taught to be. So that will be starting today. It's at drkimd.com/AYB. You can go there for more details. How do really powerful triggers turn to experiences so they can leave? This is where we're gonna finish because this is such a great encapsulation of what I'm saying. So say you're walking along, you get triggered, right? Either it's like something you read on a billboard or someone said something to you or a phone call and you're like, oh, it could be anything, right? We're like bombarded in every second. If we're in resistance, we're going to be triggered like all the time. So how do I turn that into an experience? Whoa, when she said that, oh, I felt like I got punched in the gut. Now you might not even get it. When she said that, I can't believe she said that. Oh, well, yeah, I'm reacting. What am I feeling right now? Then go to the body. Bring it to the body. So feel your physical body and start tuning in. Like, what am I feeling? How fully am I breathing right now? In the Instant Elevation Program, which is a great starter place with this work, if you're new to it, that's the first piece of the 3-part modules is awareness. Oh, wow, I'm aware there's like a pressure on my chest. You're having sensation. Your body's registering it. Are you part of that or are you blocking that? So in that first equation, it's like awareness. Whoa, something just happened. And you tune in and you deepen and you deepen and you deepen that awareness so you can let in all kinds of intelligence. But it starts with sensation. So softening the body, physicalizing it, right? Like, what am I feeling? Oh, sometimes I'll feel like right in my womb, yoni, it'll feel like a clenching. It's like, okay, stay open. What am I feeling in my body? I got triggered. This thing happened. There's heaviness on my shoulder. Oh, I just have pain in my neck. Like, it could be anything, subtle or not so subtle. It could be something not in the body. You're feeling something around you like a slimy wall. Oh, get me out of here. So you don't realize that the reaction, can you believe that she said this thing and blah, 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 is actually your reaction to what you're sensing on some level, usually unconsciously. So go deeper. Start to register it consciously. Oh, I have a pit in my stomach. Oh, I just feel so angry. That's the first step. I'm going to share the link for the Instant Elevation Program too, just because people might be interested in starting with that. It really brings you into this integration. And it's at drkimd.com/IEP. So you can go there for more information. But that's the basic thing, right? It's like, I can't believe she posted that thing on Facebook and she said da-da-da, right? Oh, wait a minute. What am I feeling right now? What am I experiencing right now? Where is the sensation? And then breathe into that space. I guide you through that a whole lot more in the course modules for Instant Elevation Program, but that's the basic for you to start actually having an experience. Because when I start doing that, I'm letting energy move through instead of like, can you believe this happened? Oh, I don't want that to happen. Blocking energy out. It's not going to work. It's not going to work for you to be fully alive, vibrant, healthy, sensing, and expressive, creating individual, right? You're here to create. Can't do that if you're shut down. All right. I love you guys. I am at drkimd.com. If you would like more to stay in touch, you can subscribe to our newsletter. We're continually communicating events, things that we have on offer. We will share with you. Subscribe if you are in YouTube. I'm sharing lots of videos in YouTube. I'm at Dr. Kim Duramo in Instagram. And best place to continue the conversation is in the MindBody community in Facebook. I have MindBody mentors who are with me in there assisting this awakening. And I would love you to be a part of that. So lots of love to you. I'll be here every Wednesday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. If you are ready to jumpstart your life and activate your work, your business, your living, and begin living more and more into the whole self, the Awaken Your Business program is beginning today. It's a home study program, but we are having a kickoff call today if this resonates with you. That is at drkimd.com/AYB. And I want to give a special shout out to my team, to Jess and Alicia, for being so awesome and for being in this with me and for being a great reflection for me to, let in and see what I don't always see and just be great teammates with me. I love you guys, all of you, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Bye.